So I was lucky enough to be able to race my first World Cup race, which is the tier just below World Series, in May 2017. And I just come out of the swim in the big group, and we'd done the first lap of the bike, and unfortunately, because we were in quite a big group, we were going up quite a narrow road. I kind of got forced off the road.
Regarde, déjà, ils se regardent, les mecs. Savoir qui c'est qui va rouler, qui c'est qui va rouler.
Oh my god! Ah! Il faut les aider, non? On peut y aller ou pas?
Don't touch! Don't touch! Don't touch!
Putain, Alexis, t'avais une fille dans la bouche.
Il y a Alexis Guy?
Alex, oui, oui.
But yeah, I woke up in a hospital bed with 5 broken ribs, 4 broken vertebrae, punctured lung, broken scapula in 4 places, and yeah, quite a few stitches in my face. So I think it was a bit of a scary moment, but at the time, to be honest, I felt very fortunate to be alive.
Like, it's fine to do some VO2 stuff, but then the sponge and paddles go pull, so you can probably do them like that as well. And then the 12 strokes max at the end will just take out. So anything that's actual sprinting will just pull back. And don't dive. So there's 2 50-time trials in here, both of them using what is the new ITU start procedure. So we'll do in the hands of the starter, hold 3 to 5 and then go. So it's checking for fatigue resistance, but it is also seeing what the warm-up does to you. Sometimes when we do this, some people are faster at the back end, which tells you quite a lot about how warmed up, how ready to go you are, probably gives you some stuff to infer going into a race. 500 goes 75 free, then 25 rolling through the second bits, 400 pull, breathe 3 to 5, 300 with 4 strokes fly at 0, 100 and 200, 4 ones drilled to free, and then speed prep, going 100 threshold plus, 75 threshold plus, 75 VO2, 50 VO2 plus, 50 12 strokes max, then 100 easy. So yeah, do the prep set like that, but then probably those 2 bits pull, so swim those, pull those. I don't mind go VO2, so swim on that. So, from a push, then those go pull, and then the 12 strokes max just completely take out, go 2 100s. I think it holds your heart rate pretty much bang on.
Having watched the video itself and what had happened, and when the doctors came in initially, they said if that had happened and you'd hit your head, you might not be here at all. So it's one of those moments where you do feel a lot of gratitude that you're able to be in the position that you are. And I think for me, almost naively straight away, I was thinking about how I could get back on the bike and how I could get training. I think the difficulties came in the purpose of myself post-crash rather than the crash itself and dealing with that. I think it was the long-term period away from the sport, the 9-10 months of long-term rehab, where there's no definitive answer of whether you're going to be able to come back or not, and whether you'll be the same person you will be before. I think my parents were probably the 2 calmest people in the kind of whole scenario. So I think for me to see that and for them to be So understanding they're supportive, present the whole time, but always with a level head and thinking rationally, I think that allowed me to think rationally and I guess process it.
Do the fly stuff, but if we're setting up two things, set up the no gap between shoulder and your chin at the front, because your elbow's staying up, but that gap's opening quite a bit. So set that up, and then your left hip.
You're in the third wave in lane 6 already.
Oh wait, no, I'm lane 5.
Oh yeah.
In the hand of the starter. Go! I think he would probably have told you that a couple of years ago it would be his weakest discipline, but I think it's now coming to something which maybe isn't quite a strength, but certainly isn't a weakness. But triathlon something's more than just about how fast you can get from one end of the pool to the other. There's a lot more to it than that, and some of the open water stuff and the ability to operate in that environment, Alex is pretty good at as well. So it's a sum of parts, which is it's significantly improving to the point where it's certainly not a weakness anymore, and hopefully in the next couple of years we can get it to the point where it is a strength. .72, Alex.
Movie jump there.
Yep, particularly when you breathe to the right and that next stroke.
We had 2 on a bounce already, so. Now I'm doing big volume on a run. It's the legs feel a bit heavy in the water, but I'm capping it off intensity-wise once I get to about 400 meter pace. So I'm not doing any of this kind of stuff, but even still, it's hard work, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's like it's a new challenge. Everything's fact-finding mission at the moment. So. I've not given up the title runner yet, I'd like to think, but I'd say I've always grown up being a triathlete. When I started the sport, I was a triathlete, but I still have some genes in me which I feel like are runner-based, and I think that's probably where this has all come about from, and definitely some unanswered questions for me within that space. I always say it's dedication, but I love what I do, and for me, training isn't a chore. Well, tell a lie. Sometimes it's a chore, but most of the time it's the dream. I'm living my dream job. When I grew up, I wanted to be an athlete, and I'm able to live that dream, and to have that almost taken away in 2017 gives me a level of gratitude every time I lace up my running shoes or I stand on a start line that I can do this and I'm able to do this. So I think for me, yeah, I want to be able to give back to the people that have given time into me, invested their time, and now can, I guess, watch me race with some characteristics which they've taught me, and that kind of defining, you know, the way I race, and I think that's quite cool.
I have a few. Although this is just not acceptable.
I hear there might be a special colour maybe for London.
Oh, it's such a nice day today, isn't it?
It's funny because I don't know why, but Pete asked me a few times to do the prizes and stuff, and
yeah, you started it.
I started it twice,
yeah.
Which is really cool, and gave out the prizes. But I always felt like a little bit like I feel like a bit of a letdown compared to like them having Kipchoge, or I think it was Tom Daley, or I had Prince Harry when I was able to win the London Boroughs. But yeah, it's nice to go full circle from there to.
Yeah, but they're runners, so for them to have you is special.
Hopefully I'm
like, for
relatable
me, if it was
as well.
Tom Daley, cool, but they probably think you're cooler than
Hopefully I'm just
Tom Daley.
a bit more relatable than, yeah, and show them that I did this too and you can as well. So.
Like my mum said, like when everyone's walking through, like you just feel like a wave of emotion because everybody that's like going through that start line has like a reason why they're there and like a journey up to that point.
It'll be different now. It's getting a bit warmer. The one that you took on Ali's phone. My whole goal of being an athlete and trying to give myself 100% is what can I do with my gift and what I've been given, and I still feel like I haven't explored that for running and particularly for kind of road running and the marathon, and I think that is something which has really excited me, and coming off the back of an Olympic Games and having this kind of opportunity to be able to work on my run when I haven't been able to for the last 5 years because I've been so tunnel vision into kind of making my swimming and biking an appropriate level to be able to be competitive in those races. I think it came a point where I could finally do this and yeah, say why not? Why can't I give this a go? And London Marathon for me has always been one of the kind of biggest races in my mind, particularly in running, but in my life as well, growing up, racing the London Mini Marathon, kind of leaning over the barriers, watching the elite male and females come through, and yeah, being inspired by them and seeing the growth of it.
Gym twice a week, and then I'll do drill session once a week, so I'll be kind of around a run. But I think gym for me has been pretty important over the last few years, just keeping me robust. Particularly post-crash, it was a big part of the rehab kind of stuff, and then just kind of kept it in, just to stay on top of things from like injury prevention point of view, but also from particularly last year with swim development, trying to do a bit of project around getting these shoulders nice and big, even though you wouldn't believe it. But yeah, just helping like eke out the little bits of performance which I wouldn't normally be able to find. So.
I think Alex's strengths are generally just being a nice guy. He's a nice person to be around. People want to train with him. It just creates a good atmosphere. I think that his openness from a coaching point of view, but also from him absorbing information. I think he's somebody who will take information from everybody, filter it in his way and work out what to do with it. But I also think you get the balance between being somebody who is super adaptable and somebody who's a pretty ruthless competitor. Like he can go with whatever it takes pre-race, no matter how chaotic it is. But then as soon as the race starts, you know, it is about absolutely delivering the best that he can deliver.
Right, man.
Right.
You good?
Yeah, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Sore legs? All right.
Not too bad.
Yeah, what
Find out in 15 miles.
How did you find it? How was the half?
Yeah, it was alright. It was alright, to be fair. It was just some Kenyans that end up like.
Yeah,
so
that was weird because I saw he went out in 28:40. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, like I thought, oh, he won't survive because he's not done anything since 2019.
Okay.
And then so you kind of think.
He's just cracked on.
And he just cracked on. So I was like, yeah. I just had Steve in my head saying, "Don't bury yourself on your own."
Yeah.
I better back off here. So.
Yeah.
All enjoying everything anyway?
Yeah, so far. Yeah. Touch wood, it's going all right. So.
These are the hardest few weeks now, mate. Once you
yeah,
get through
exactly.
these next two, you're
waking
good.
up, you just a bit niggle here and there every morning. It feels like something different.
You've just got that accumulation now.
Yeah.
And you kind of like, there's not quite light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming.
But yeah, no, definitely. Hopefully 2 more weeks, or 3 more weeks, and then we'll be out the other side, won't we? So it'll be good.
St James's Park, you kind of think, well, I'm at the finish now. And it's not, it's still like probably over 2k.
Birdcage Walk is
Birdcage Walk
long,
is so long.
Yeah.
I mean, I did 21 laps of it in lockdown. It's a long way. I can promise you. But it's, I mean, it's so cool when you think about finishing in front of Buckingham Palace. I think you take it for granted almost.
Yeah.
Really, your first mile or so is flat, but the adrenaline and you kind of find, so that's why I say you kind of get that for free. And then it's definitely 5k, because it's where different parts of the marathon kind of joins you, the course. It's quite a steep downhill, and that's around the 5k.
Yeah.
Just before the drink station.
Because it almost like eclipses the whole profile, doesn't it? It's that steep that it looks.
Yeah. And then I always think the toughest part of the course, apart from Canary Wharf, is it must be from around the 10-mile mark, Rotherhithe, and it's
Surrey Quays and then into
the crowds on the course in London are incredible. But if there's one area where it's a little bit quieter, it's around there. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that's the only area where you can notice it's a bit quieter. The rest of it's like 2-3 people deep almost the whole way. Yeah.
How like the drink stations? Does it feel like surgy or does it feel?
A lot will depend on the group.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily. It depends on who's your group. If you've got people that maybe big stress heads or a bit erratic, they're the ones that you've got the same guys that be sat at the back of the group, and then all of a sudden they'll get sprint to the front of the group, get the drinks, and then they'll disappear back to the back of the group again. So it depends on who's in your group.
Got you.
Marathon sort of thing. But again, it's just keeping your wits about you and getting your drinks safely. It's,
I think that's one of my big fears at the moment. Is like that experience. It's something I haven't experienced, but then it seems like it's unique to every race anyway. So
and I think like maybe take a gel in your shorts or something like that as well. So if you do miss a drinks bottle, or I know you're taking gels as well, you've got one in your shorts, so just whip that one out. Sort of thing.
One of these. Put yours in the side. Don't put yours in the side. I'll put your other one in there.
Do you reckon get on the camera? The little lid.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. It was leaking everywhere before, so I was like, I need a solution. No, I think I put them in the front. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they're here. There we are.
Yeah. Right, boys, we know what we're doing. 3 miles easy. We're going 12 miles steady state, so from 5:30s, slightly uphill on the way out, so just be careful, and on the way back, 5:15s down to 5:10s, and that's in kilometres.
Yeah, what is that?
3:25s down to 3:15s.
Cool, sounds good.
Yeah, in triathlon speak. We all good?
All good.
Brilliant.
Cool,
Let's go.
What do you do steady at like now? Is it just like 7s? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Is that alright with you?
That's perfect, yeah.
So this summer, are you planning on still doing triathlon this summer? Or see how the recovery goes? Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure how I'll come off this.
Yeah.
My emotions after it.
Yeah.
But I'd like to do a little bit more running this year.
Yeah.
In my head right now.
Yeah.
So see how that goes.
Could be Tokyo in September, mate. You don't know.
Fuck. Hopefully us can do a bit of good running together at the start, man.
Yeah. Should be some good group, because quite a few Brits I think will be around the same sort of time, I imagine.
How did you find New York as a marathon compared to to London? And
I think last year, the weather was good, so there's more spectators out. And I think because I was in the lead group for the first 16 miles.
Weren't you, for a long way?
Yeah, the atmosphere seemed even better.
Yeah.
But honestly, I kid you not, like one point, my ears were ringing because of the noise. And I'm sure you were like, in some of the triathlons and stuff, but it was just unreal. If you do one more marathon after London, make it New York.
Really?
Yeah. That's good. Are you still doing like quite a bit on the bike in the pool, or have you kind of chilled out a bit more at the moment?
8-9 hours on the bike and then 4 or 5 swims, so cut it down a little bit. Because I'm just not doing as much volume as you guys.
No, well that's where you get the volume off the bike, I suppose, isn't it?
So just doing that kind of recovery. Recovery run type stuff on the bike. How's this prep been compared to other marathons?
There's no such thing as like a perfect marathon build-up, so I think like I've had a cold and stuff, and which I think sometimes is a blessing in disguise. Stops you from going over the edge, sort of thing. But yeah, no, I feel good, and just over to the marathon gods, isn't it, really?
I would say with London, my biggest competitors myself. I think just trying to achieve what I know, well, I don't know actually, that's a complete lie. What I'd like to achieve and what I'm training to achieve. And yeah, it's an unknown, and I think for me that's exciting, and I go into it like 45,000 other people, and I think that's really cool that I can go in like that and feel like, you know, a complete novice again of the unknown, and that really excites me, and I feel like that's why so many people take on the challenge. I mean, it's for amazing causes and charities, but it's also for self-growth and to be a better person once you cross that finish line after 42K. So I think, yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be in a similar position, and win, lose or draw, I can cross that line with a smile on my face and have experienced the amazing atmosphere and experience that everyone, you know, raves about. 4 of the 12 probably, yeah. And then 8 of the 12 maybe, and then
Cool.
the humidity is just super high, isn't it? And then
Don't get me wrong, you want to beat everyone.
yeah,
Of course you do, but you kind of, I found over the years, you almost work together, and it's kind of like,
you know how tough it
you
is.
miss your drink, or, yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
but you know how tough it is, exactly.
Collective respect.
Yeah.
Respect and
A bit different, like sort of 5K, 10Ks and stuff where,
yeah.
you know, I don't know,
I know.
yeah. And then it literally is like that till 30, 35K, and then it's like, well, it's literally
Yeah.
everyone for himself now anyway.
Yeah, shake your hand and
Yeah.
My plan is to hopefully go through halfway with a nice group, and then see where I'm at. I know the race doesn't start until about 30K, so I'm gonna try and stay as calm as I can till then, and then do the best I can to first of all, I think, enjoy it, but second of all, just get the best out of my body and see what I can achieve with that.
Look, everyone's going to have their opinion. People have their opinion on whether it's a good idea or not. People have their opinion on whether you can come back for it or not. I think between Alex and I, we generally have a pretty high level of internal confidence in what we're doing. And look, he might get past the marathon and go, you know what, I loved it, and that's what I want to do, or I hated it, don't want to do it again. Like we honestly, we have a loose plan, and you know, the intention is to come back to LA and be at his best in LA. But we are treating this as a bit of a one-off block that we haven't thought too much beyond it. And I honestly don't think if he has a bad race, other than he'll be annoyed if he has a bad race, of course he will. Every athlete would be annoyed, but he'll be annoyed because he'll want to do it better.
Is this then one day putting the groundwork in for an ultra? A 9-man, sorry, ultra.
Wow,
Long time.
we'll see.
Yeah.
See what happens, but yeah. Trying to
Got to be done at some
finish
point.
this one first.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, hopefully it can put a benchmark down for
Yeah.
maybe a Kona or something.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I feel like that's a bucket list race.
yeah. I think in terms of attrition, it's got to be one of the hardest events. So
Yeah, 100%.
I'd love to give it a go. I don't know if I'll be competitive or not, but yeah. Have to see.
I think you do all right, mate.
What is like the hardest session you do in your prep for a marathon block? For like,
Session will be like 7 by 3K.
yeah,
With like the K float.
yeah,
That'll be like the longest. Similar stuff to you. 15 by a K, 10 by a mile.
yeah,
And then the longest run I'll do is 24 miles or like
Yeah,
38K. Yeah.
How more pace would that be at?
So it's quite rolling, but I'll get down to like, well, I'll average 5:40 pace.
Oh, fair, so
That's like,
pretty quick. So
yeah.
by the end you're going like 5:20, 5:15.
Yeah, it's like about 1,200 foot over 24 miles.
Oh, fucking hell,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
it's a
it is.
lot, yeah.
But like I run it progressively, so we do this session, we call it Smackdown.
Yeah,
So we'll do
sounds hard.
18 miles kind of building, and then just 4 miles just fucking smack it.
Yeah, fair.
So like, yeah, and then I say smack it like 4:45s. That sort
Yeah,
of
by
thing.
the end of that, that's,
Yeah, exactly.
Say what, boys, you look like effortless now coming back this way. Does it feel that way?
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
we were like
lovely.
5 O's before, so I was like, maybe we need to be careful, but we're still We're cruising, aren't we?
Yeah, I may not be the best when it comes to training, but then when it comes to racing, I can kind of put it all together. And I guess it's a similar thing with the marathon of, yeah, these guys are the best in the business, and I'm coming into something completely unknown, and I completely respect the amount of work they've put in, the hard hours, and you can't lie, you can't cheat those hard hours. It's an honest sport marathon. You can't come in here without having done the work, and I like to think a bit of my triathlon training will convert to that, but I know that it's not going to have the same bearing that hard, long miles will have on the legs. I think I definitely have inspiration from the running side of things, and particularly the marathon. You know, Eliud Kipchoge is probably one of my biggest inspirations, and the way he races, his philosophy, how he trains, I think are all things which I look up to and appreciate. I probably don't kind of follow, but yeah, I really appreciate what he does, and I'm inspired by that. And then I think from a UK standpoint, watching people like Phil Sessman and Emil kind of break down barriers for British athletes and show that things are possible, yeah, makes you believe that potentially with the right training that you could potentially do these things as well. And it was so inspiring to watch Emil come forth at Paris, kind of one of the most impressive performances, I'd say, of the games, and for him to do that really opened my eyes to kind of what was possible within the marathon, but also, yeah, how amazing an athlete he is as well.
Job, mate.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries, enjoyed that.
Really, really good, yeah.
How was that? What was the last 5k again?
15:17.
Nice, nice. The elevation, yeah.
Yeah, look at that from today. Fun. Never intended for that. Going, I mean, it was pretty hard going at the start. We started at 3:25s for the first bit out until we turned, and then when we were coming back, we started rolling down towards kind of marathon pacing just below. So it was, yeah, really nice, and nice to pick his brains as well, because he's obviously done so many marathons and top 10 all the time. So yeah, some good company to pick their brains. Probably taught me that there is a power of learning to learn from not failures but not successes, and the power of that to then come back and be a better person, not just a better athlete. To do that made me realise the importance of life, I think, and what I'm doing with my life, and that it can be taken away from you at any point, and what you do with it is really important, and you got to do that with purpose.